What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're over here going around on my first symposium today, so you guys are in on the scoop. Hold on, my sister's calling me. I'll call her right back. But anyways, guys, we just got in the hotel and I wanted to show you guys actually everything that's going on. We're at the mansion on Forsyth. So right when you walk in, it's a crazy setup here. You see me there. Got our bed, TV, about to play some Switch. But then I gotta prep for the symposium. This is the view of our beautiful hotel. Very nice hotel. So guys, today I'm speaking at, here, let me get this one. I'm speaking at a symposium with a bunch of doctors to explain my LVAD story. So hopefully you guys get to see that in a little bit and just see my trip in Savannah, Georgia for the day. And I'm pretty excited because they're paying for everything. So I'll see you in a second.
So, Michael Cruz, Michael, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your journey. Michael's going to give us a few words and talk to us a little bit about his journey and kind of how he's gotten where he is. And I'd love for you to introduce Angel as well. It's exciting to have you here, so thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank you all, first off, for allowing me to speak to you guys. I love to tell my story, and I've been doing it for the past 2 years. I believe it's a blessing that I have this. Right off the bat, my doctor, Dr. Ahmed, who actually saved my life. This is my brother who stood by me throughout my whole process, as well as my family and my wife, and so on. Don't mind me if I look at my phone. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. And so, first of all, like I said, I'm extremely humbled to be speaking to you people, and I'm very honored. You guys are all prestigious in your field. Just a quick background about myself. Obviously, I've mentioned, my name is Michael Cruz. Growing up, I was very athletic in high school. I played football, I did all the weightlifting. That was my passion, was weightlifting. It's just something that grew to me. So I wasn't overweight, I didn't do drugs. I've never done a lick of drugs in my life, never drank alcohol. And so I just didn't see, when I was diagnosed with heart failure, where it came from. I didn't do anything, so I was really surprised by that. So when I was 21, 22 years old, I wanted to be a bodybuilder. That was my thing. And then I started doing meal prepping and trying to do that for 2 weeks, and I found out it wasn't for me because I love pizza. So it's just, I can't do it. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just do powerlifting. Powerlifting, you can eat a little bit more, get strong, and it doesn't matter. So I did powerlifting, and I was really passionate about it. around the age of 24, that got put on hold. I was starting to have symptoms of heart failure, which I never knew about. I never even thought about heart failure. I just ignored those type of things. The symptoms that I had, I didn't know because I was lifting and eating so much. I was around 240 pounds. And I was 240 pounds when all my life I was like around 190. So you're talking 50 pounds heavier. And I was huge, it really was. But I started noticing I couldn't fit in my sneakers that I've been wearing for the past, 5 years. It doesn't make any sense. My socks started leaving imprints around my ankles. And my limbs were swelling. Getting out of bed was a 5-minute process to even get from my bed to the bathroom, which was maybe 6 feet away. It was just a very rough time for me. I didn't understand why. Coughing, laying down, I would start coughing and then eventually throwing up. And I didn't know what was going on. Like having a conversation with somebody for more than 30 seconds, I would start coughing, and then eventually heaving, and then it would be more embarrassing if I threw up. So that's was my life for about, I want to say 6 months. I went to a cardiologist. Actually, I went to my primary physician. She recommended me to their cardiologist that was in-house. And I went over to go see that cardiologist, and I will say that cardiologist was not the best cardiologist. He just gave me medicine, and hopefully that would fix the situation. And he just told me, don't go to the ER. And I said, all right, no problem. So, like I said, it's my first time around. He said, you have heart failure, at 24. So it just, my world stopped. I really didn't know how to grasp it. I didn't know what to do. And, I had my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, but it was just shocking at the whole time, just having to make this work. Eventually, I didn't get better, I got worse. So he recommended me to Dr. Ahmed, and I had to wait a week. And that was a week until to go see Dr. Ahmed. Well, I didn't make it a week. I ended up going into the ER. And in the ER, they ended up draining fluid. I don't know how many liters they drained out of me. I ended up losing 10 pounds in 2 days, just because of the fluids and the diuretics they got out of me. When I got out, they said, we're going to let you out just because you're going to go see Dr. Ahmed. We're going to let you out. This is in my local town. So from there, I go see Dr. Ahmed, and Dr. Ahmed tells me I would not be doing my job. I never forget these words. I say it every time. I would not be doing my job if I let you leave. So from there, at that moment, I went upstairs to the hospital, and I stayed there for 1 month. 1 month, so I went from 240, and by the time they got my, my dieting right and everything right, I lost 50 pounds. I was 190 pounds when I left, and all my clothes were baggy. So we left. Fast forward 3 years later, I graduated with my bachelor's degree. I went ahead and I got married and married my high school sweetheart. Bought a house, and I'm working my full-time job, no issues. And this is no LVAD, no nothing. That was 3 years. Fast forward, then I lifted in a weightlifting meet, and then I took a break. Basically, it's called deloading. So whenever you lift in a meet, you're lifting heavy for so long, you got to take a break. And so what I did was just 1 week. Well, I started noticing my symptoms immediately. I started noticing getting tired. All these symptoms came back to me, and I quickly remembered what happened the first time. It would never leave my mind. So I immediately called my doctor, and I said, look, this is what's going on. He said, come on in, and we'll do an evaluation. So we did an evaluation for a week, and I ended up staying in there for 2 weeks because of complications on my end. And I ended up going home with a PICC line. That was my first, I ended up going in with the PICC line. And that was pretty much my life. Weightlifting stopped again, and that was it. I had that PICC line for about 5 months, and 5 months, rewind there, the evaluation came out that I needed an LVAD. The LVAD, I did not want the LVAD. I scoffed at it. I didn't want the LVAD. I didn't want anything to do with open heart surgery. I never even wanted a pacemaker. I didn't want anything to do with that because I'm a believer. I believe in God, and I believe that I was going to be healed. And it just wasn't happening. And I'm not going to do this. I don't want no surgery, no nothing. So I had the PICC line, and I went home with that. So fast forward now 5 months. Next thing you know, it's turned for the worst. I started throwing up a lot. I started actually I don't need it anymore. It's my story, right? I started throwing up a lot, laying in bed just for more than I think the last couple nights before I went into the hospital again, it was laying from a bed, getting up, running to the sink, throwing up in the sink, getting to the toilet to throw up again, getting back to the sink to throw up, and then get back in bed, and then repeat for an hour. It just kept on going for that for about 2 weeks about. And it just wasn't getting better. And this was right in the middle of the hurricanes that were hitting Florida. So it was a very scary time, and everybody was panicking for gas. I'm over here throwing up the whole time. So from there, we just had enough, and we said we're going to go to Dr. Met. So immediately we rush up there to the hospital, and we get into the hospital, and the doctor tells me I immediately had to do a balloon pump. And so immediately they put that in, and that was very humbling, to say the least. Having somebody wipe you and give you sponge baths and even checking your that was awkward as well when they gave me the thermometer. But then they said, they told me first off, I got from the ER, they gave me it in my mouth, and they go, that's not accurate. And then I'm like, excuse me, and that's when he didn't even give me his name. So it was just, yeah, exactly. So yeah. My wife is laughing the whole time while it's happening. I'm over here dying. So either way, I go into the ICU, and the doctor comes and tells me that, look, we're glad you came in when you did. You wouldn't have made it through the weekend. We don't believe you would have. Which was very shocking to me, because I'm like, I was just fine a couple of weeks, last month. What are you talking about? And they said, we don't think you would have made it. So I ended up staying in ICU for that time being, for about 2 weeks, and the LVAD was on the table for me to accept. We started really doing our research and started praying on it, and we agreed upon that we are going to go with the LVAD. So I went with the LVAD, and I will tell you right now, it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. Obviously, because I'm alive. And after the LVAD, he got installed. The first week. First week with me basically getting up, and they were just helping me get up from my bed, and with their help, and then eventually just walking around the ICU room. That was the first week and a half. Then eventually I graduated from there over to the actual upper floor, which is basically the next stage. Basically, you have ICU, and then you have your regular hospital. So that's where I stayed the next month. Every week I got better. I got stronger every week. I was walking eventually by myself. I had my appetite within about 3 weeks. I had pizza. It was great. And after that, I got to go home, and then my life just went skyrocket. Everything was great. Every week there was something going on. The first week when I got out of the house, the first week after I went home, I was discharged. My wife, she had to give me a bath. You learn, you're as a couple, how challenging that can be, because it's just me being a manly man relying on my wife to do the simple things in life, like take a shower or go to the restroom. It was just very humbling, and it really did bring me and my wife stronger together. So after that, the second week, I didn't need her help no more as far as doing those things. I was able to start cleaning, doing more things around the house, walking my dogs, walking around the neighborhood. So let's fast forwarding. Now I need my phone, but a lot of stuff happened. So I can just keep track of you guys. There we go. So 1 month after my surgery, I bought my dream car. I bought my Dodge Challenger, which is my dream car. And I said, I'm going to have that because you're not promised tomorrow. And I just said, I got to get a hold of the car before anything happens. So I went and got my car, which I now drag race. We drag race all the time. There's a drag race, a drag strip in Gainesville that we go to, me and my coworkers, every couple months. We go out there and we take our cars out and we race. We have our helmets, we do the whole nine, and it's all legal. 2 months after that, I already had a YouTube channel, and it was just sitting there, but it actually accidentally gained 1,000 subscribers. I recorded a wrestling video, and it just for some reason, next thing you know, I have 1,000 subscribers. Little do I know, you can make money off of that for 1,000 subscribers. So I met that threshold, and I just used it as a platform for my LVAD. So I started telling my story to people online, and I started explaining the life, what to expect with an LVAD, and what are the challenges with an LVAD, and what bags you can get, different things. You don't have to wear the vest. You don't have to do these things. And ironically, I met people in England, and I met people in Georgia and other states, in California, all reaching out to me and reaching out to each other, learning things about LVADs. Really is a true blessing to do that. 3 months later, I began to drive again. I was no longer on chest restrictions, so I was able to drive. Around 6 months after, I participated in my first weightlifting meet again. I was cleared to lift weights, and I was around an 8-week period. So as long as I can get in the gym and get in a competition, I'm happy. I don't care if I never meet my numbers again, as long as I can get and do the thing I love. And I got back in it, and I lifted in my first weightlifting meet. So that was a shocker for people, because I'm already lifting weight after 6 months of surgery. 7 months, I got my real estate license. I went ahead and I said, look, I always wanted to be a real estate, as a side job, but I really like to do it full time, because I can wake up whenever I want. But I felt like I said, I'm gonna do it, and believe it or not, I took the class 3 times. Not because I'm a bad real estate agent, it's just because every single class, I got in 3 weeks of the class, and I ended up going into the hospital. Every class. So on the 3rd week, my real estate broker told me, I'm not letting you leave. You're gonna finish this class. So right after my LVAD, I finished when I got my passed the course, and then 6 months later, I passed the state test, and I got my real estate license. Like I said, since then, my goal was to make a difference. Every time, I just don't want to be normal. I don't want to be, I knew this right here is really a blessing, because I talk to people and they're going through situations. I ran into a gentleman the other day in Walmart, out of all places, and he got his LVAD in Tampa. And we just had a 30-minute conversation about our LVADs and just talking, and I just told him I'm way ahead of him than he was. And I just told him, you're going to get better, I promise you. You just got out of the hospital a couple weeks ago. It's going to be so much better for you, I promise. And then I started telling him my story. It was a blessing and a half to do that and kind of to share my story. I was so rejuvenated. I was just happy that happened. So that's my goal. I just want to make a difference. I want to be honest, I'm more productive now than I was before my LVAD. Before, I was always sick, and I would always tell, I'll do that later. I'll go get my real estate license later. I got all my life to do that. I can do that later. After the LVAD, I'm like, I'm not promised tomorrow, and then, lit a fire under my butt. Go ahead and get it done. Do something. And it really is a true blessing. I'm showing houses as many times as I can a week. I'm driving around. You wouldn't even know I have an LVAD. People look at me and they don't even know what this is. They don't ask questions. They just think I'm wearing a satchel. So it just, that's pretty much, that's all it is. Every day for me is basically a PR. I tell people who have LVADs to think of it, or to look into getting an LVAD, is don't think about the surgery the pre-surgery, Don't think about my life and this and that. You need to focus on after the surgery, the day after, or the 3 days after, when you wake up and you come to. That you need to get up off that bed, because they're not going to let you out of the hospital unless you get out of that bed. And you just need to keep on fighting and keep on driving and keep on doing those things and stay focused, because that's what you really need to be. I know you got your family to decorate, amazingly. I love this hotel. This is a true blessing, really. I was great. They invited me over, and I was like, yes, this is awesome. But guys, that's my story. My story is, since then, I've lived my life. Feel great. I'm lifting in a powerlifting meet, and actually this September, at the end of the month, I've been training for it for the past couple of weeks, and I'm very excited for it. It's my first sanctioned meet, so I'll be in the numbers and the record books and all that stuff. And I know I'm the only LVAD patient lifting in there. So that's my goal. I'm going to be on the books. It's easy. So again, I want to thank Abbott for inviting me. It was a true blessing to come out here. It really was. You guys asking me to come out and speak and tell my story allowed me to dig deep and realistically take things for granted, because you just move on, and then I had to go back and relive all these things through my life, and it just makes me grasp that, oh my gosh, I did all these things 2 years ago, within 2 years, all from a hospital bed, on your dying bed, all the way till now, speaking to you guys. So again, I want to thank you all. I want to thank Dr. Ahmed, because Dr. Ahmed saved my life. It's a true blessing because he made the right decisions all the way around, didn't miss a beat. So I want to thank you guys again, and that's my story.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. So I just got back from Georgia. I had a great time. I was in Savannah, Georgia. You guys saw. I spoke at to many doctors, and it was really a blessing. Got to speak to my doctor as well and thank him. But also, in the grand scheme of things, learned a lot. They talked about the LVAD and the benefits of it. They were just explaining to the doctors, and the goal of that symposium was to kind of expand the HeartMate 3 throughout the country. And right now in Georgia, in Savannah, Georgia in particular, there isn't many places there's no like VAD centers in that area. The nearest place is like every nearest VAD center is at least 4 hours away. For example, Gainesville is 4 hours away. Atlanta, there's a VAD center there, a heart center there, that's in 4 hours away. And then also in South Carolina, that's 4 hours away, all from that location. So instead of doing that, they wanted to kind of introduce it and hopefully bring it to Savannah and exposing the the HeartMate 3 for what it is. I'm kind of low on battery, so I want to make this quick to wrap up my video. When I went up there, they lent me a demo of an actual LVAD. So this is actually what they use, and that's what it looks like. Here, let me get out the way. Hopefully it's trying to there it is. It's trying to focus, but this is pretty much what it looks like. This part right here goes into the heart itself, okay? This goes into the heart, and then this part, there's an actual tube that comes out and it connects to the left ventricle, and this goes right into the heart. And then, so what it's doing is when the heart pumps, the blood's just flowing. It's just a constant flow. And this right here is the power cord. This goes through the lining of your stomach on the front, and it actually, I'm not sure if it's the front or not, but I know it goes through your stomach and comes out of the site. And this is your power cord. It plugs right into it. So this is pretty much roughly what the LVAD 3 is, the HeartMate 3 is. The old ones used to be very big, and you could feel them in your stomach. These new ones, they're really nice and small. They've been tested, and they were showing me the numbers of how much they've improved over time. So it's pretty neat of Abbott to actually give me a demo. I gotta give this back to them, of course, but they were just showing me for my videos that I can show you guys exactly what it is. If you're an LVAD patient or you are looking at an LVAD, I'm pretty sure you've seen these before. I'm sure a nurse came in and showed you this, but if they haven't, they just talked about it, this is what it looks like in person. It's not big at all. Maybe at the size of the palm of my hand. It looks pretty intimidating, but realistically, you don't feel it at all inside. Maybe a little bit in the beginning, because your body's adjusting to it. But guys, that's the LVAD, and I think it's pretty cool. I'm probably gonna do a little more detailed videos on this stuff. Hopefully, I gotta give this back, but I wanted to wrap up my video, and I wanted to thank you guys so much. Because of you guys and me getting the exposure while talking to you guys, I'm able to go to different locations and to spread my story about my LVAD story, and it's a blessing and a half. And if you guys have stories, please reach out, because I would love to hear your stories. And people are telling me that they've had their LVAD recently, and it's a blessing to hear that. And I know you guys have amazing stories to tell. Don't think just because you're struggling that your story is not interesting. You got to think about, we're walking miracles. We're not supposed to be on this earth for what we have. Heart failure, usually they say 5 years is when people start dying, and if you made it past that, I mean, you're a miracle walking. You're not a statistic, right? You're a positive statistic. So anyways, guys, that's my video. I want to thank you guys so much. Again, this is the LVAD. This is the beautiful thing. I'm probably gonna do one more video with this before I send it back, because I really think it's cool that I actually have this in my hand. And that's pretty much it. Well guys, I will see you when I see you. Thank you again. If you got this far, please like and subscribe. This video is just a vlog really of my experience throughout the weekend. I thank you so much Please be blessed. I will see you when I see you. Love you. Peace.